going to do, we're going to just very much start with some basic drums. So we're in 4/4 time. We're going to go with 120 beats per minute. And we're going to throw in some drums into this MIDI column. I'm going to go with something kind of simple. I'm going to go with the 808 core kit. So there's 2 ways to bring these drums over. I can double click. There they are. They all showed up. We're friggin' stoked about that. Or you can drag and drop it in. 2 ways to do it. Drag, drop it in, or double click. So here we go. Boom. Great. And I'm just manually, with my fingers, pressing play on each one of these instruments here. We have a few things, gains, tones, stuff like that we can mess with, but for now, we're just going to keep it very, very simple. I think with learning, it doesn't have to be good, it just has to be done. Let's keep things as simple as possible, right? All right, so we want to plug in our drums. We're going to boots and pants this, all right? If you look here on these clips, when I bring my instrument over, you'll see that these have not, now these squares have turned into circles. So that means that they are now recordable. All right, so check this out. I'm going to double click on this blank clip here. And then as you can see down below, there's a few things that show up. We have all of our kits, right? Boom, our whole kit, 808 kit is here. Now I'm going to select some of my drums. I can use the pencil at the very top, right? It makes my cursor into a pencil. That's one way to do it. And the other way to do it is just by pressing B. So when I press B, my cursor then becomes a pencil. There we go. And now I'm going to play. This is turned into a play function. Great. So we have 1 bar in time. Great. And then we're going to boots and pants it. So boots and snare, kick and snare, kick and snare. Great. Pretty simple. That is my basic drum beat. And there's other things you could do. You can like add hi-hats if you want. Great. Boom, 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 boom. Excellent. Great. We're going to move on. So that was your drums. That's one way to get that drum in there. So the next thing that I want to focus on is now I want to bring in another instrument. So I'm going to go to instruments. I'm going to look, what do I want to do here? I think I want to put in some keys, maybe a pad. I'm going to click on pad. Maybe piano keys. We're zipping around here. Analog. I'm going to go down to my analog zone. Ooh, wait, look at all these jammers here. Maybe some muted keys. So if you notice, when I hit the muted keys, it just looped, just to give me an idea of what that sound would be like, what that texture would be like. And if you notice here, I muted that loop, which is still playing. The headphone loop there. Just muted it so we can have a bit of a chat here. And I'm going to bring this into the column, my second MIDI column. I'm going to tap on my MIDI column, make sure it's highlighted, and there's 2 ways to bring this instrument into the column. One is to double click, and the other one is to drag it over. So I'm going to double click. There it is. Great. There's my instrument. And I'm also going to now make, instead of what I did prior to this, which was double clicking right on that spot, we're not going to do that. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually play my laptop like a keyboard. Great. So what you want to do is you want to go to the top right, and there are keys there. You want to fire that off. So it's yellow, so it's selected. And then you're going to press the keys on your keyboard, A to L on your keys, not your not a piano, I'm not talking about a MIDI controller, but on your actual laptop. These then become your, all right, so we're ready to rock. We have our metronome that is on, which is yellow indicating that it's on. It's at 1 bar. We love that. Great. We're at 4/4 time, 120 beats per minute. We have our drums that will be fired up. And now I'm going to press record. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Stop. All right, so I'm going to show that again. What I'm basically doing is I'm playing 4 notes. I'm playing all my white notes. However you want to play them, right? So we'll show it again. It's going to count in for 1 bar, and then it's going to record. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Great. So I played it a little differently this time, but you get the idea. There are 2 ways to make MIDI notes. One of them is by plugging them in manually, as we did for the drums. The other way is to play it out on the keyboard, as I did, just like so. So we're going to continue on our path here for MIDI. We're not going to use these audio tracks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete them for now, just to keep things real simple and easy, right? There's a few ways to bring in another track. You can go to Create, Insert MIDI Track, and a clean track will come up. Or you can, kind of something a little sneaky and fun, is you can duplicate one of these tracks. Okay, so I'm going to just delete this, and I'm actually going to duplicate this track and the exact same thing that I played. And you know what? I think I just want to swap out the texture. So I'm going to swap out the texture. So as you can see, it's changed, right? I'm going to solo it so you could hear. As opposed to, and then together. Space bar. I press space bar to stop, or the stop at the top. Those are 2 ways to stop. So you may notice now there are a few ways to actually play what's happening here. You can either play at the top, or you can play in these little cells here individually. Now the way Ableton is set up is that when those cells and clips are green, it means that they will play as soon as you press that top play here or your space bar. So for example, all of these 1, 2, and 3 are green. So boom, all of them are going to play. There's also a play function over here.